ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Power Mondays, where we're going to be talking about business and finance. My name is Ratiba. I'm a thought leader, speaker, an award-winning philanthropist, and most importantly, I'm a child of God, and I'm just someone who likes to learn about the dynamics of the world and how the business world is changing, and the young people that are running the business world, and we get to get insights from them. This is Empowerment Podcast. House rules. We are everywhere on podcast platforms, so make sure that you subscribe and follow us and engage with our content and engage with you back. So our aim is just three things: to empower you, inspire you, and equip you. Today I've got an amazing guest. This is our first guest. And I'm actually excited for this. And you are in it for a full meal today. Just a masterclass. We're gonna be having an interesting conversation. I'm gonna do an intro for him. So my guest is Ntando Phewa. So he's a director at Phela Accountants. I hope I said the name correctly. So I'm just gonna read a bit of his bio, and then we'll get to into the conversation. So Ntando Phewa is a designated business accountant with the South African Institute for Business Accountant, which is SAIBA in abbreviation, and has been professionally trained at Turning Points Chartered Accountant and Nsiga Management Consultant. Ntando holds honors degree in Management Accounting at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. He's also serving as the current chairperson of Inc. Excellence, which is an MPO, and he specializes in management reporting, cloud-based accounting, and submission of statutory returns. Ntando has extensive experience dealing with SARS. I think so many people need to know that. Dealing with SARS, statutory return submissions and disputes. He also enjoys adding value to organizations, assessing areas to make operations more efficient. He also finds pleasure in seeing Phela Accountant, which is his company, clients improve their financial well-being and growing from strength to strength. Please welcome Ntando.
Hey,
How are
thanks, man. Thanks, Ratiba. No, I'm doing well, brother. I'm doing well. How are you keeping up? Amazing work that you are doing at through this podcast. I'm super excited. You're making one of the best decisions by subscribing, because I was listening to the first show. It was quite packed. And yeah, as someone who's looking to venture into business, or someone who is in business, or even in corporates as well, who you finding yourself lost, who you need a helping hand, I think this is the right platform, for that person. So yeah, keep up the amazing work, brother.
Thank you, sir. I'm the one who's super excited today to have you. And we get to learn. I mean, I come from a science background, and I happen to be working in a different field than what I studied for. So anything that is in accounting is an interesting thing to see, and I feel like small businesses need that. So firstly, I just want to know, where is Ntando from? For those who don't know.
Yeah. Ntando is born and bred in a place called Inanda. It's in the north of Durban, at the heart of KwaZulu-Natal. That's where I'm born and bred. That's where I'm currently staying as well. But principally, operates with the client base mainly within the Durban area. But we do service clients from Kimberley. We've got a few from Pretoria. We've got a few from Cape Town. We've got quite a lot in the Richards Bay area. So yeah. But me personally, I'm grounded here in Durban.
Interesting. So I just want to know, right? when we were growing up and people would choose, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer, why accounting? Why accounting?
Interesting one. For me, I think at home they wanted me to be a doctor. I was coming from a household where my grandmother was a nutritional counselor at a local clinic. And my mom was a nurse, so it's like there's like I know you should become a doctor, So with me, obviously, it wasn't that, With me, I think I was fascinated by the stories I used to hear about my grandfather. My grandfather used to own 3 bottle stores during that time, and he also owned, I think he had 4 tuck shops as well. So obviously I think that fascinated me, just to understand, how he did it, and also understand how did he squander it as well, because he was unable to retain most of those assets, most of those businesses. So I think it was something that was being in business, being exposed in business. So when I started, my high school career, I got exposed, to obviously in the accounting space. I saw, the amount of exposure in business that you get. You get exposed to different, sectors, get exposed to different industries. You're able to see, how to various entities do. So, and also I did quite well, it was something that I naturally did, it was an outlier in terms of even my high school academics, I used to even mock people, say, hey, I could go to jail and in 10 years from now I can write an accounting paper and still get an A for it, because it was quite natural. I used to struggle with other stuff, but with accounting it was just quite natural. It was something that I did remarkably well in high school. So it also showed that it's something that I did enjoy studying. I had a passion for. So I think initially, but and then obviously, getting into university, obviously I did, do my undergrad mainly in the pure accounting stream. And then remarkably, I find myself, being exposed to small businesses, and recognizing that, hey, no one is helping these guys out, where you're seeing, in your local, township or local community, you're seeing someone who has, let's say, a funeral parlor. Everyone in the community goes and are members of that funeral parlor. So those people, you might find they might be collecting 300,000 rands a month, but you'd be surprised that no accounting firm wants to service those people. But they are collecting 300,000 rands. That's like you're looking at like 3.6 or 4 million rands in a year. That's quite a lot of. Even some franchises, in the malls, they don't turn over that much of turnover, but you find that, something in the township and no one is servicing them, So I got exposed to that, during my early university years, where I even used to go and serve there, on weekends and also, in holidays, where I even later on, went and did this, as like a part-time job, and I used to, I got exposed there into the consulting space, where I recognize these people are willing to pay, where you're coming once a week, they're willing to pay even up to 5,000 rand with 1 day a week that you're working. So, I think that also cemented, that no, I really need to do this, but obviously, continue my studies in the accounting space. But also that led to me diverting, into the management accounting side, where I'm not just reporting the historicals that what you have done, but I'm more working with management, in helping them, using the numbers to develop strategies to grow their business, strategies to understand, develop business plans, while at the same time also, involved in the reporting as well. So yeah, that's my background and then how I started this journey.
Wow, I think that's super interesting because you can, like you already said, you can trace it back to your grandfather having a business, so many businesses and losing them, and and then you getting an interest in trying to find out how did he even lose that. So it's full circle going back to the small business, because I can see your company works a lot with small to medium businesses and MPOs, so and that's a key market in our country, because sometimes you feel like they're neglected, or maybe also we can get into that, like how do they even know that I need an accountant, so what are the things, because they just run a business. I open a business, it booms in the area, I just sell whatever. So it's like, how do you know that you're selling taxable suppliers, right? And then how do you know that you need an accountant as well to come and check your books, So how do you even do compliance? Like, what do you need to do? What are those things that the small business that is starting and it's coming up and it's doing very well? They've got 2 butcheries, What are the things that they need to do to make sure that they're compliant, firstly? And the second thing, to make sure that they really need to have an accountant to come in and check, their systems inside and their books.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I liked your first episode of the podcast. I was listening to it the other day. You kept on pounding, that entrepreneurship is about, identifying a problem in the community and solving it. And then obviously as you solve it, you're able to scale it into other communities or other area. I liked how you simplified it. I think also with this market, it's a similar situation. You find that someone they are solving a problem. Obviously, given the size of the problem that now they find themselves having to be in business. Where they're turning over, quite a lot of money. I'm sure if you can look at our butcheries in our local communities, our tuck shops, some of the tuck shops as well, they are budding. Also with, your ship-ins, beer halls, your lifestyle areas, they're always busy, you see that there's a lot of money circulating within that area, but you might find these people, they just selling, they don't understand, about, compliance, they don't understand about, preparing proper finances to be able to access finance, and you can't blame them because, they are not accountants, I'm sure with you as well, coming from science back, there are certain things that obviously you don't know where to turn, and how the profession has been, branded. Some people even fear, approaching these guys, because they might fear, that they'll overcharge them or they cannot afford them, So I think with small businesses, I think it's more about, looking at that problem where, because they don't know. They're making 300,000, but you might find that they are not even registered. They are operating informally. You might also find that they are, but they might not be registered for VAT. In terms of compliance, they need to be registered for VAT because they're collecting 300,000 rands a month, which should be above $1 million in a year. So it's more about, us identifying that, and obviously taking that educative route where we're going to them, and obviously outlining to them, why is it important for them to register a company? Why is it important for them to have a separate bank account? Why is it important for them to access financials? Because remember, a company is a human being in itself, as much as it's a human being on paper, but it's able to acquire its own assets, it's able to acquire its own debt, it's able to employ its own employees, and then obviously the directors are merely stewards, who are managing the company's affairs. So I think, there is a lot of small businesses who, as you've outlined, compliance, finances, they do not know, and then obviously I think with us, obviously we take, advantage of of that opportunity to help out, to ensure that there isn't another mkhulu person who's going to be like umkhulu wami, like my grandfather, who's going to have a business, but because they don't have proper systems, don't have proper financial systems in place, they don't have proper finances in place, that their business is not going to scale, or their business only revolves within around the founder, where if something happens to the founder, all the business will cripple, and they'll struggle. So I think as you've outlined, most of them do not know. Some even register companies. For instance, if you register a company in South Africa, you automatically have a tax number. The fact that you have a tax number, every person in South Africa, legal as a company, trust or whatever, or a natural person, if they have a tax number, they have to submit every year, in terms of the Income Tax Act, they have to submit an account how much money they've made.
Maybe we can clarify there, like, what is the tax number? And how do they use that tax number? How important it is even also for the business?
Yeah, no, it's no problem, brother. I think a tax number, obviously, it's a unique number that is allocated to a taxpayer. It varies obviously from country to country. Here in South Africa, you get allocated a tax number. For companies registered through CIPC, they automatically issued with a tax number. So if you register a company today, in the company certificate, there will be a tax number that will be automatically allocated to you. Then for individuals, obviously they would have to register a tax number, because obviously individual is also a taxpayer. They have a unique ID number, or they have a unique passport number, so they are regarded as if they are a entity on their own. They're able to earn income, and then obviously when you get the tax number, that's the tax number they would use. At SARS uniquely, that even your employer, when they are doing the submissions, when they are deducting pay as you earn, if you are employed, and then obviously at the end of the year they need to give the tax certificates and RP5 to show how much tax they've deducted against your salary, how much they've paid you as your employer. Obviously, they will use that income tax number that the SARS system will pick up when they are submitting their employer reconciliation, and then also generating your RP5s. Same thing if you're having investments as well. You are required obviously to issue them with your tax number, so that they will be able to declare how much investments you are holding with them, and also they will need to declare how much interest they've paid you, or potential capital gain. So it's a unique number that is there, that is obviously linked to the SARS system, and then obviously as soon as you have that number, obviously that's the number in which you use to submit your tax returns, and that's the number that you use to obviously for other third parties like your employer, your medical aid, if you got a medical aid, your investments, pension fund, that's what they'll use. So the importance of a tax number, obviously, as a citizen, I always say, it's always good to be a taxpayer, because if you are making money, obviously you must be also, there must be taxes that have to be paid, because obviously we are benefiting. You are driving your car on the road, you don't pay, for the, okay, maybe you might pay on the toll gates, but you don't pay, for the road. But who fixed that road? You are sick, you need to go to the hospital, you have access to services, sometimes you have access to education as well. So the tax system is very important in a country, because obviously that's how the country is able to generate income to be able to fund, your social services. Like if there's a crime, in your community or in your house, you can call the police station. They're not going to charge you for that, because you are a taxpayer some way, somehow. So obviously the tax number, it's important in that aspect, because you'd be able, you are registered for tax, and obviously you pay tax. And South Africa is a very nice system, because they recognize, that we are coming from, a situation where economically, some people were not participating. So in South Africa, they do exempt you from tax. You don't pay tax if you make less than 85,000, that's like, if you're earning 7,500 rands or less, you find yourself maybe not paying tax as well, because they recognize, hey, why should you, you are making means to an end, we won't charge you tax, So it's a very good system, but at the same time, obviously it does help you in terms of you being compliant, and having, proper, stuff. And obviously from a company, it also helps as well. You can also, SARS also recognize, even as a company, you can make profits up to 80,000, 85,000 rands and still not pay tax, So yeah, people shouldn't be afraid of going and registering a tax number, because it would mean that they are compliant, and also, it also, put out there to people that, hey, you also want to help the country, by being registered for tax. And obviously, if you are making money that qualifies for you to pay tax, you are supporting, the country, by being a responsible citizen and submitting your taxes and paying your taxes.
So you're doing country duty.
Yes. No, every country, and every country with a good tax system, that country, you see it, it's thriving. Every country with a bad tax system, you can see that country, they struggle, because that's how the country is able to make, a revenue, bring in money to be able to pay, your public services.
Yeah. So I want to get into something, right? Our aim as the Empowerment Podcast, mostly as Power Mondays, is just to make sure that we educate and we inspire and also empower other people, and also share insightful information, right? So, because you work with small and medium business, like that's why I said it's an interesting market. What are some of the challenges that you have encountered working with the small businesses in the country? This can be the blinds that they don't see, that they need to be aware of, And so those are the things you encounter. You started venturing into that market.
Yeah. No. Good question. I think you hitting the nail on the head there. Yes, we quite exposed to a lot of small businesses where we even have a database of about 300 small businesses that we've worked with, either once or on a monthly basis. So we've been fortunate, to see, quite a lot, of what are they doing right and what are they doing wrong. So to start, maybe let's start from the beginning. You want to start a company.
Yes.
One of the issue that we're seeing is that, first and foremost, people, especially small businesses, they sometimes believe that starting a company, that's it. You start a company, it's going to make money, not understanding that a company is just, a vehicle for you to conduct trade. You still need to put in the work. You still need to have a product. You still need to be, as you've outlined in the previous empowerment podcast, that you still need to solve a problem, So registering a company doesn't mean you are solving a problem. So you have to be solving a problem, but obviously you're going to use the company as the vehicle, in which to solve a problem. So I see a lot of small business owners, especially those who are looking to start. They would have that enthusiasm once they register a company, and then they would think now things will automatically happen, So I think there's still quite a lot of work to be done, in helping, small business owners, identifying a market, identifying the problem that we're solving, and also, in the actual, doing the work, rather than just saying, hey, let me just register a company and that would be it. So there is a lot of work to be done in that space, just to help them out, identify, refine their idea before even going forward and starting. And then another issue that we are seeing, especially during the ground phase, before they even start, they don't understand, how to structure their business. You might find that someone, they're that well informed as to how do I structure it. You might find that someone might register an NPO, but they didn't necessarily need to register an NPO given what the problem that they are solving. Or someone might register a company, but you might find that if you look at the problem they are solving, the nature of the problem that they are solving, how they're looking to monetize, from the problem they are solving, you might find that they should have registered an NPO rather than registering a company. And another one that we see as well is the partnerships. You might find that people enter into partnerships for the wrong reason. They're bringing someone to become a partner for the wrong reason. You might find that someone maybe at the time the person is you needed the skill, but as soon as obviously money is coming in, you can afford to buy that skill. So you find that now that partner is irrelevant because he's only bringing in the skill, but he's not bringing in the entrepreneurial, ability. Because obviously skill, there's always going to be someone more skilled than you if you are partnering for basically on the basis of skill, Then now you are making money. Maybe initially you didn't want to make, you weren't making money, and then now you're making money. You can afford to pay that person or pay that for that skill, or afford for a better skill, So you find that people enter into the partnerships for the wrong reason. They don't understand the dynamics of being in partnership. What are the pros, what are the cons, and so forth. Then you find that 2 years or a year after, people they saying, I want to resign from this company, someone is not putting in the work as how I'm putting it, but you didn't initially outline, didn't initially recognize, and outline exactly what is each partner bringing into that business. So I think that's one of the problems that I'm seeing. And then also advancing now as the business is operating or the business is registered. Another problem that we are seeing is that a lot of small businesses, they think by managing their finances, and submitting their compliances, they are doing SARS or CIPSI a favor. They don't look at it as something that would help them. The fact that someone wants to know how much money you are making, you should be concerned because they need to know how are you doing, but you yourself, you don't even care to know how are you doing. You're supposed to be the one who needs to know, hey, is this thing working out? How am I doing? What how much am I making?
Are you losing money?
Especially, yes, are you losing money or not? Especially if like let's say for a thought leader like you, if you are going into business, there's an opportunity cost because like for me, I know your marketing skill. I can pay you, let's say 25,000-30,000 rands just for you to come to my team, but if you are in business, so it means that even if you are making 5,000, you are losing 30,000 rand because you can be earning 30,000 rands, if you are working. So you also need to not look at the profit just as the money that you make, but also looking at, the opportunity cost, because obviously, the skill and the value that the marketplace is upon your head. You can't be wasting time on something that makes you little money, where the market values you at that level. So it's also very important for you to know how much money are you making in a month, how much profits are you making, you can even go down as understanding per day, how much money are you making per day. Let's say, for instance, let's say someone earns 20,000 rands. So that person basically makes 1,000 rands every day if they're working, 5 days a week, because they're working 4 weeks at 5 days. So that's 20,000. That's 20,000 rands. Right. They're making 1,000 rands a day in profits, because that money is going to come to them. So as a business, if you want to earn 20,000 rands as a business owner, so you also need to ask yourself, am I making 1,000 rands a day? Okay. Am I making 5,000 rands a week to be able to qualify to earn 20,000 rands in a month? Because it's not going to happen by magic. It has to be, you have to make that money before you earn it. And in business, obviously, the 5,000 might be coming in per day, but that money is cost of sales. There's money that you have to set aside for stock, and then you only eat the profits and not. You don't eat the entire amount, so there's a profit element to it, so obviously by you measuring your numbers, you don't find yourself now where you are seeing there's 100,000, but you might find that you have to restock, maybe if you are, especially in the business that we're seeing with small business, because most of them they are at the end of the value chain, they're not producing anything. So they're basically buying finished goods and selling finished goods. They are buying, let's say, if you are shipping, you are buying alcohol that is finished goods. You don't add any value to it. You're just selling it to your customer. Let's say, for instance, it's a butchery. I'm just making it. You are buying meat already from in its original state, and then you are also selling it in its original state. Okay, perhaps maybe you might grill it for someone, but there's no value that you are adding to it throughout the process. So you have to take some of that money that you've made and go and bring it back to the other person where you've bought it. So obviously, if you are making money, not all of that money is coming to you. Some of it you need to go and put it back to stock. Then you find the person now, they don't understand that. Now they find themselves drowning in an overdraft because they're thinking, okay, there's 100,000. Let me pay myself that 100,000. And then, finding next week they have to go and restock and the money is not there. And then they now need to go and tap into that overdraft. So you find themselves that they're now struggling. They can't come out of the overdraft. They can't see, what's causing them to be stuck. Some of them, they're even using loan sharks, and so forth, because they don't understand, that the numbers, they don't understand the number side of the business. They only just, going to an accountant just to do the compliances and the SARS, compliances with SARS and the CIPC, and not recognize that the accountant is there. They can help them with their numbers. They can advise them as to how the business is doing.
So so I think I like what you're saying. You going really, really deep in making sure that our people or the small business understand. Do you think, because I heard you saying that your approach is more of education first, right? It's more of
correct
these people, and then they understand what you do, and then you offer services, right? Do you think there's that lack of education by most of the companies, or is it a government responsibility to do that, or it's an individual responsibility to go find out that information when they start a business?
No, I think that's a two-sided question. Yes and no. Yes, obviously as a business owner, especially with the widely available, information that's out there, with the internet, with empowerment podcasts, because I'm sure there's some business owners, in your network, but they haven't subscribed to empowerment, podcast. So who's to blame in that? Because you are bringing these people who are going to, share the wisdom, the insights, and experience, but we can't blame government, but we can blame people, because they have data. You always seeing these data, and some of them are indeed in business, but there is also that lack, amongst business owners. They don't want to take the responsibility in their own hands, and get access to this information, because we are speaking here. There's nothing technical. We haven't spoken about tax rates or how much you need to submit or how do we're just speaking as to what it's there, what's there, what you need to do, and sowing those seeds, so that when the person, finally starts their business, they can either reference back to the podcast, or they can also, remember what was being shared, So there is that element as well amongst, people as business owners, and it goes back to the thing that we were just sharing, that they just want to register a company and think, things are going to they are going to happen automatically, rather than, identifying and solving a problem proactively. And then obviously number two, there is some, a lack of government intervention, especially in disseminating, the information that's there, because we need to understand, not all of us, can, especially as a small business, you can't afford, the talent required, to bring in expertise in accounting, people who are, experience, in business laws, because it's quite technical. To understand the labor laws of South Africa, you need to understand, maybe like 4 acts, the Labor Relation Act, that speaks about how to dismiss someone. You need to understand the unemployment insurance, Fund X, which is the UIF. You need to understand how the compensation for occupational injuries, X, and diseases X, which is COIDA. You also need to understand, the basic conditions of employment Act. You can't expect someone, maybe who has only maybe just, stopped at matric, maybe they were doing a science course. They were not as exposed to those different acts, and expect them now to understand, okay, I've hired someone, how do I now go about, registering for UIF? How do I structure their employment contracts, So there is that element as well, that's because the acts are there, and there are people who can, be able to disseminate, in very layman terms, so that these people understand, should they start employing people, they know, okay, when do I register the person for UIF? When do I register for VETs? When do I register the person for COIDA? And how would this help me and my business, So I think also in terms of government as well, I strongly feel, that even that right now, it's like the empowerment, podcast is taking the responsibility to empower people, on something that, they didn't develop, because government developed these acts. Why isn't government, creating that platform? They even have the channels, They have the channels, they have access, to SABC and so forth, and they know that people are always, glued to that, So I strongly feel, they can also, play a significant role, in helping, small businesses in understanding this, because not all of them can afford to have lawyers, to help them navigate through these acts and laws, and not all of them can afford to have accountants as well, But also, I think with us, as professionals who've already been exposed, understand this, we also need to look at our people as well, and see how we can empower them, how we are doing it that way as well. And you'll be surprised, people, the market always responds to the value we are bringing, whether it's a township market. If you are bringing value to the people will always pay, and we are testament to that as a business, that people, they pay for our services, we believe our services, they are quite pricey, but not expensive, but they are pricey, where you find that there's a service that we do maybe for 5,000 rands, but you'd be surprised that someone would pay, we charge clients maybe per month, maybe some of them, from 1,750, some 1,000 rand a month, some 3,500 rand, some 4,500 rands a month, but you find that people, that you wouldn't expect to pay, but because of the value that you are seeing, you are helping them, you are bringing to the business, the growth that you are bringing to the business, you're seeing people, who are struggling, to access finance. They've been working so hard in their life, and then with you coming in and helping them with their finances, they can finally now buy a car, that will help them to be able to be easier to buy stock, they buy a van, you send someone, they're finally able to get a payslip, they're finally able to buy a house, and get a dignity, So I think for people respond to value, hence why I'm also challenging other professionals as well, to look, at the opportunities that are there, in empowering, our people who are in business, especially in the township economies, and yeah, there is a lot of opportunities that are there.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like what you're saying, that it's double responsibility, like firstly as an individual, you also need to go out and seek information. As podcast as well, we're trying to share that insight so that it is easily available for everyone. And the secondly that you said, because I was thinking, we have a ministry of small businesses in the government, right? And they pass these laws as well. So it's also, it's also a little bit of their responsibility to actually do activations of those laws and educate, the people, that, because they will say we need entrepreneurs, people must start businesses, Correct. You don't empower them in terms of giving them those insights. You just do the laws and the policies and everything, they are there, but you never explain them and break down to those people that you want them to start businesses. Maybe some people are, stuck because they don't know, how do I fire someone, medical aid, or when they're injured at work, do they pay for doctors, medication, or I need to pay as a company. Those things, I think those are very, very important information that businesses need to know. And I'm glad that you actually taking a responsibility to say our township market has been there, has existed, has raised us, and we've seen so many business tycoons coming out of those. Richard Maponya are products of those township businesses.
Correct.
They made it a lucrative business, So it is important that the generation that comes also get the information so that they're able to build long-lasting businesses. So I want to get into the services that you offer, right? So I want you to break down some of the services that you offer. Maybe we can do, step by step. This is the type of services you offer, and then what would they do to your business if someone is like, there are benefits of coming and working with Ogupilago, so what will someone gain from you guys?
All right. No, thanks, man. Thanks for that. Let's perhaps just make it simple for everyone. Let's break it down. Before you start, and once you've started operating, and then obviously now you're looking to scale. So I break it down into three. Before you start, we offer services. Before you start, where you want to start a business, we can start with helping you register your business, depending on whatever format that you want, or we can advise that will be the ideal format. We can start by registering you a company, a private company, if there's a need for a private company, an incorporated company, where you are registering a personal liability company. Find that maybe you are a professional, you are a medical professional. Sometimes there's certain attorneys, you are required to register a personal liability company. We help you set that up. You want to register a agricultural cooperative, where you are in agriculture, you want to do a co-op, because there's a funding for that. Up to 250,000 that is guaranteed if you register as a co-op. We help you set up that. If you are helping people out in the community, you want to do, a non-profit organization, we help you register that, So we start with that, and our services generally they are bundled. So to help you, to not having to struggle now to where like we register a company for 1,000 rands, for 999 rands, where you get a company, you get BE certificate, you get share certificate, you get a bank account, you get a guide, as to how to plan and plan your business, and you get a tax clearance from SARS as well, where in terms of the basic paperwork, you have all the basic paperwork, where if you are telling someone like a corporate or someone who's looking for someone a bit professional, you're saying, hey, I've got a business, you can get, I'm an empowered supplier, because I'm PE level 1 or PE level 2, so in terms of your PE scorecard, you're also going to get assisted. I'm tax compliant as a business. There's my tax clearance, I am the shareholder of the business. There's my share certificate. I have a valid business bank account, so you'll be paying the business and not me. So all of those things, especially if you're working with, looking to get bigger, job with bigger, organizations, that's the thing that they want to hear. So we say, no, we're going to give you this thing at 1,000 rands a month. We give you all the papers, and then, that's, we believe if you have that, you're a better position rather than just registering a company alone. Similarly, we help you set up an NPO, where we do your constitution, help you with your constitution, and then once it's registered, we can help you with your public benefits organization, where you can get the tax exemption, where other companies, they want to fund you because they'll be able to deduct tax on the donations that they give to you, So we make it simple for people. We make it simple for people where we even if we do one, we give you an idea as to what next, based on what you need. If you're in construction, obviously we register you for the Construction Development Board, CIDB, where obviously because if you're working with big entities, they don't want to work with someone who's not registered at CIDB because they need to know your grading. So we're able to advise you, even if cleaners, you need to register with the Bargaining Council of Cleaners, the BCCA. We help you with that, and tell you, okay, when you have the funds, this will be the next step. Then we see people, today they have cleaners, they have employed people, some of them have security companies, they've started, bit by bit, because we don't just do the service, but we also empower you to know where next, up until you realize that vision. And then obviously the next step now, you are operating. Obviously you have maybe an employee. We help you register for UIF. We help you register for Pay As You Earn. We do their pay slips as well. We help you with their pay slips. We help you with your submissions with SARS and UIF and so forth. You find yourself now the business is operating. You need to submit your tax returns. We help you with that. You need to generate your tax clearance. We help you with that. You need to submit your return to CIPC. We help you with that. And then obviously as the business now is growing, scaling, maybe you're seeing now, there's a need now for someone to help me with my finances now, but I can't afford as a small to medium-sized business to hire a qualified accountant, because those guys, you need to pay them every 25,000 rand a month. We're saying, hey, don't stress, we can do this for you outsourced, where we come once a week to your sites, but you pay us maybe that fixed amount, maybe 4,500 rand, per month. But you would have access to us, whenever you need anything, you can just give us a call. Every month we'll be maintaining your books, slips and invoices, we'll be doing your return submission with SARS. Every month we'll be having this meeting and letting you know how much money are you making, every month, how much money are you losing, how much you spent on fuel, how much you spent on salaries and so forth, where we kind of like you're having an accountant, but obviously, it's working from home. We call it the accountant that works from home, So we also do have those services, and we see a lot of benefit, because now you're able to plan a bit better in terms of tax, to ensure that you're paying the optimal tax. You're able to structure your finances a bit better to ensure that, you're in a position now to access funding, in terms of banks and in terms of, your grants with public institutions. So we do help a lot of businesses across the spectrum. And then for that, as well, we always say, hey, you can even start from being a small business where, you can pay 1,000 rand a month to do your books. If you're making a turnover less than a certain range, you can pay 1,750 a month, 1,750, but you have access to an accountant that works from home. And obviously, if your business is growing maybe above 1 million, obviously you're paying 30,500 rand a month. But it's still fair, because to hire an accountant full time, you must be paying nothing less than 20,000. But we work from home for you. We do your books, everything you need to be sorted out. We do your pay slips, we submit for you. You're paying us 3.5 a month. And obviously, if your business is a bit bigger, you pay 4.5 a month. If the business is a bit bigger, again, you pay 7,500 rand a month. So we have a package. We cater for all people of all walks of life. Even our client base. It's not just townships. We've got companies. Who are medium sized. Operating. In Umhlanga, operating in Konubia, operating. In the upper markets. In the Durban CBD. In Morningside, we service those clients. We also service, someone who's also working, in Emakaya, in a shipping Emakaya, in a police store Emakaya, back in Mpangeni or Nongoma. We service those people, so we do have something for everyone. So that's how our services are principally structured.
Sure. That's amazing. I'm really, really inspired, because you are literally taking responsibility to say, if then you don't have an idea of how your books should work, how do you become compliant, how do you keep your business on track, outsource the responsibility to us, and it doesn't matter how small you are. Let us help you grow and grow with you. Obviously, as you grow, fees will change depending on your services as well. You know.
Correct.
So I think people must come and find you guys. Your work that you are doing is incredible, and I feel like that market that was neglected is now taken care of. You know, it is given the full insights that other businesses have. The bigger ones that have and are able to maintain, because sometimes people don't even know how to even go on to be listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. These are the things that you need to start with, and grow with as you grow as a business, so that when you scale, your things are in order. So that's incredible work that you guys are doing, and amazing work. So I want to ask, are you looking to scale up into other provinces, and go and have clients in different provinces in the country? Let's say maybe where you see yourself in the next 3-4 years?
Yeah. No, good question. Maybe to just give you context, currently we've got over 30 month-to-month clients that are paying us month-to-month, and only half of those clients are in Durban. The other half, they are in Cape Town. We've got 2 in Cape Town. We've got 3 in Kimberley. We've got 2 in Johannesburg. We've got 2 in Pretoria. We've got 1 in Free State. We've got a few in Richards Bay. So we do have a service offering. Throughout the country, even within the month-to-month, we have clients who are paying us 4.5 a month, but we haven't seen one another face to face. I think we have to be grateful about that, but also we've been strategic how we've structured our firm. We utilize a lot of technology. We're not just saying, hey, these people do not know. We implement a lot of technology in our business, cloud-based system, where even in our company you can work from anywhere, throughout South Africa, but we guarantee that the staff will be able to access all the infrastructure that is needed for them to do their job. Everything's on cloud. Even our payroll systems we're using on cloud. Accounting systems is on cloud. You can do accounting on your phone whilst you're on a flight. You're able to do your work. You don't have to be next to the computer. So I think as a firm, we are innovators. As much as we people might say, hey, we're servicing small businesses, but hey, we are innovators. One of the fastest, even the company that we're using as a service provider, we are silver accredited now. We are a silver partner, zero certified silver partner, meaning that, we have a lot of clients on zero, and also zero is acknowledging us that, hey, these guys are doing an amazing job, So yeah, I think that allows us to service clients, throughout the country, but at the same time offer even the same or even better service, than having someone whom you can see every day. But obviously we are recognizing, I think as numbers people, we always say numbers don't lie. So we also make decisions by numbers. Yes, it would be nice, obviously, if we can build a strong base within that region, to expand, our offices and have, the physical presence there where people can also come, and visit us, and obviously, because some people, they do want to come and see, where you're operating. They also want to connect with you, especially with the relational parts, that is involved in our businesses, and the amazing things that we're able to do for people. Some that want to say, come, and send a gift to us personally, come and personally thank us, So obviously, I think that would be a great opportunity as well, I think that would also be, a great option, But yeah, we do have, on the cards, even our market research, it pointed that close to 50% of the country's registered companies are located in Gauteng, So obviously that's the market research we did, when we started that business. So there is, you're not surprised when you're getting a lot of clients from Gauteng, because that's what the market research is saying, So obviously when we expand, obviously we do some market research. And also we listen to the numbers. What are the numbers saying? Where are we getting our clients at? Because we are accountants, we always make informed decisions. So we are looking to expand. But at the moment, we are able to service clients throughout the country. Virtually from wherever we are.
Wow, no, that's incredible. Personally, I wish you everything all the best, and I know it's coming. Even when I start my company, I'll come and can I come for coffee so we can talk business? So incredible work, man, that you're doing, and I feel that every person who's listening to this podcast, if you are a business owner, please contact these guys. Please contact the Kupilago as accountants. Where do they find you? Where can people find you guys? And they get in touch with you.
No, without a doubt, we'd be glad to receive them. We'd also be, glad to assist. But disclaimer: don't be phased away when the admin sends an invoice for consultation after the coffee. But in terms of where people can find us, our offices are based in the heart of Durban at the CBD. It's a Smart Exchange building, a beautiful building next to the ICC and the Reserve Bank. We are located at 5th floor, offices are at 5th floor, Smart Exchange building. That's where they can find us physically. But they can also give us a call on our direct telephone line, which is 031 023 0514. Or they can drop us an email at info@pilagwezwe.co.za, or they can also, engage with us through social media. We are active on all social media platforms, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, even on WhatsApp Business as well. It's Pilagwezwe Accountants. That's the handle that we use across all platforms. So as you said, through protocol, they should also subscribe. They should also follow us because we do from time to time, go on radio and share some of them. The insights, as well. We also host, Facebook Live events as well. So subscribing on those platforms as well would be beneficial to them. So that's where they can find us. Personally, they can drop me an email at ntando@pilagwezwe.co.za. And I'll respond to whatever that they would need, assistance on or clarity on pertaining to their business or pertaining to some of the stuff that we've just discussed over this podcast.
Yeah, I know. Definitely. I also put out your information as we put out on our social medias. So for people to get in touch with you guys. I think the work that you're doing is very incredible. And also for a young person who's taking a responsibility to help the small business, the medium businesses, and also MPOs. I think those are some of the things that people just start because, also like we were saying, people start because they've got something burning in their heart to do something, and they need a vehicle to do that. But they never know that even NPO needs structures,
Correct.
Things as well to comply and needs to, so that, and you just go and knock at a bigger company and say, Coco, I need funding, but then you don't have your things in order, So
correct.
I think that's a gold mine there, and it's very, very much purposeful and very much important. The work that you do, and kudos to you guys. So I think we kind of come to our end. over our chat, and I'm still enjoying it a lot. And I'm definitely gonna bring you back. And we double down to some of the things, and we double down to some of the things that we spoke about. We cut through into that and lay it out, But I definitely today you shared so much information with us, and we are so much grateful that you accepted to come through and have a chat with us. And yeah, thank you so much. And so you can leave us with a few words for someone who's listening out there, a young entrepreneur as well, you can leave them with some of the few words that they can take in going forward.
All right. No, thanks for extending the invite as well. I believe we are blessed to be a blessing. So whenever we get an opportunity to just obviously, share, some of the challenges that we've encountered, so that they don't encounter those same challenges, and perhaps inspire another person to look at our journey and probably find that drive within themselves to pursue what they're planning to pursue as well. So yeah, we kind of appreciate such a platform. I know that this is the start of it, but I'm sure it's going to touch a lot of people's life. So yeah, big ups to you guys and the Empowerment Podcast team, for taking such an initiative, and answering to that call, So yeah, I think it would be unfair for us, to just speak, about the platform and not give credit to you and to you for answering this call. There is a dire need, and yeah, I do see it someday, growing, and yeah. With a proposal to the government, I think you've mentioned about the small business department, where now they use you guys, as a platform, to address some of the needs that you've mentioned. So yeah, keep on pushing, obviously, to everyone, even with you as well. Business, it's mainly about solving a problem, mainly. And I think obviously the results would be the economical benefits, but obviously it's not just gonna come out and be successful from the get-go. That's why it's important to have a something that's pushing you, that is deeply ingrained in your heart, that you want to solve, that you want to address within the community. Obviously that would be something that will keep you pushing, more than the financial gains, because business, as we say, it's about solving problems. So the more the business grows, the more the problems are going to become. I hear of people, they're saying, hey, they haven't worked with a tender before they receive a 5 million rand tender. According to business level, that means you've got problems for 5 million rand, because that's what you're doing as an entrepreneur. So obviously it's very important, to chase, measurable growth that you can cope with, and not just, aim too high, take it one step at a time. I love there's a passage of scripture which says, whom much is given, much is required. So yeah, it's the game is like that, just take it gradually. Even us, I remember I used to work from home, today I've got a full-fledged office, with a team of 5 people, and we're growing, so it's just a matter of just taking it gradually, step at a time. And yeah, have that drive, because yeah, it does get a bit challenging, it does get a bit stressful as well. But if there's something that's driving you, I think you'd be able to wear that out, and be able to pick yourself up each time you fall, and be able to soldier on, up until that mission or that vision that you are seeking to do, the problem that you're aspiring to solve, up until it gets solved. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I can say, to someone who's looking to start.
Thank you so much, and I wish you guys everything of the best. Going forward, that was Ntando Phewa, director at Ukuphila Kwezo Accountant. Sharing with us insights and sharing with us the knowledge, sharing with us things that you need to do as a small business or as a business owner to make sure that you are compliant, to make sure that you are in order with the law of the country, and to make sure that you get to reap some of the benefits that the laws afford you to reap. This is the Empowerment Podcast, Power Mondays, where we speak about business and finance. Our aim is to empower, inspire, and equip you for the better future and for the world out there. Thank you so much, and till next time.